You are welcome to Claribel Health Hub today. In today's episode, we will be discussing sex and menopause, or menopause and sex. I have been to many different places for different programs, and I've come across women asking, even men, still asking about menopause. In our previous video, we talked about menopause as a whole. But the issue relating to sex in menopause stands out amongst a lot. And that has been a frequent occurrence, which means that a lot of couples have challenges around this time. And we are using menopause for all the stages relating to menopause. So we'll look at the perimenopause, menopause itself, and then the postmenopausal stage. Menopause generally has been a very difficult time or challenging time in a woman's life. And as we have discussed earlier, as we age, as a woman, we will come to that point of our life where there is a cessation of the menstruation. And that tells that the woman has come to the end of her fertile periods or fertile years. As a reminder, we have learned that there are about 50 different symptoms relating to menopause, some so obvious and some covert. However, there are some that are very common. For example, infrequent menstrual cycle, and then the cessation of menstruation altogether. Having hot flashes, having a lot of night sweats, losing bladder control at a point, losing the desire and the drive for sex. There is some changes that really takes place in the vagina. The vagina becomes shrinked and very dry. It's painful during sex and easily bleeds. The woman goes through what we call cognitive changes. She easily forgets and loses track of her thoughts. There are what we have or known as sleep disturbance. Sometimes they sleep and wake up in the night and find it difficult to sleep. Then early morning, they are sleeping again. These are some of the common things most women will experience at menopause. And these symptoms start around age 40. And usually by age 60, most women would have achieved the menopausal stage. So they will have a life we call the postmenopausal stage of life. Here, there is no more menstruation. We don't have anything like having a menstrual cycle. It doesn't exist anymore. It is finished. At this time, there is no woman who can be pregnant unless there has been other things coming in. But naturally, your years of childbearing has ended. Interestingly, at this stage, we have a lot of women who are in marriages. And one of the challenges at this time is having that intimate time with their spouses. It becomes quite challenging. The woman doesn't want to be touched. She easily gets irritable. She's not even comfortable about herself and the changes she's going through. Some really don't understand what is happening to them, though they have come a long way to get to where they are, which we'll call the postmenopausal. Unfortunately for some, there is still that desire not to be aroused in any way. Touching them is a challenge. They don't have the drive for sex. These changes came about because there is absence or very low levels of estrogen. Progesterone is gone. And this has caused the various changes the woman has gone through. Contributing to making this issue more complicated is the time where the woman has also not had a good sleep and is already having challenges with sleep. Interestingly, most husbands think that once the children has all left home and we are okay being just ourselves, we should have the good times we have always desired. But unfortunately, this is the time that the woman also may abort. There is still hope. We can't rely on ourselves as a couple to have a good marital relation and still feel good about ourselves as women, and our partners will also be very grateful. Here are some few steps for us to learn to have good time of copulation. Due to the changes the woman has attained at this time, we encourage that you have good sleep at night. How are you going to ensure this? Have an exercise very early in the morning, like walking around your house. Most women at this time don't fancy skipping, but you can stand at one place and march. Come onto YouTube. There are a number of my friends who have video exercises that we can all engage in and have exercises in our home. Not too strenuous, enough for each of us to be comfortable with. Go through your normal day. Possibly avoid coffee and ensure that you take more warm water in the course of the day. If you are in part of the world, we rather encourage to take room temperature water. Why? Because the hot drinks you are going to take are going to increase the hot flashes and make them more uncomfortable. Our partners, our husbands, we need you to come to our level to understand us. I know it doesn't come that easy. You can see a clinical psychologist for help. The other thing our partners can do to make this time much more enjoyable and remarkable for both of us is to help me along the way. How? By communicating what I feel and you communicating back your responses. We can talk about sex. After all, we are just the two in the house and we have all the time on our hands. It will also be very helpful to go for walks together, have some nice outings on the weekends, go away from the house, get yourself booked into a hotel for a short or a long weekend. It will be a lovely time. Some interesting surprises, things that you know your wife loves, like bringing her flowers. I heard a story where a husband brought flowers to the wife on a Valentine's Day, and the wife goes like, "I've grown past this. Why are you giving me flowers?" And the husband said, "I just remembered our first Valentine." So reenacting it, the woman also came into it. Interestingly, they had together the flowers. They went to a park for a nice picnic on the weekend. Interestingly, they had a sponsored weekend away from home, and that Valentine reminded them of the years, and they had a remarkable Valentine. I know you are also yearning to have same, and surely we can do that. When it comes to the act itself, the act of having sex, because the vagina is dry, water-based lubricants come in very handy. Let's ensure that at least we have water-based lubricants. By at the bedside, we can have a bottle of water by the bedside, as and when we need, just a little water will do. Some amount of water-based lubricant will also be very helpful. When you purchase such, they are over-the-counter medications. You don't need a prescription. Please inform the pharmacist to help you learn how to apply it and apply it appropriately. It makes sex more enjoyable, relaxing, and both of us will have beautiful time together. Let's remember, the woman has that tension of releasing urine at the time she doesn't expect. It may or may not occur, but when it happens, let's not be angry. Let's laugh over it because it's another stage in her life. And I know with it, we will surely have a fruitful postmenopausal stage in our marriage life. Do enjoy your sex life, my married and postmenopausal mothers. See you in our next episode.